Mr. Chairman, one of the flagship privatization projects of the entire government in the history of privatization is the port. The port right now, McKinley Hills, the port. A little over 100 hectares. This was sold by the national government, AFP property. Now, my question is this. What if the government, instead of selling the entire property outright, 100%, why not make it a joint venture proposal? Maybe with the government retaining 20%, so that the government has a 20% residual ownership of the property. The advantage there to the buyer is that he will only shell out 80% of the amount, so that's a 20% reduction. The disadvantage on the part of the government at the outset is a 20% reduction in the proceeds, but in exchange will be a perpetual flow of income from that property. Let's say 20%. Can you imagine how much the government would be benefiting right now if that was the scheme used in the privatization of Fort Bonifacio? Same with FTI. FTI is another crown jewel, as using the words of the chairman. How many hectares? About 30 hectares, and that is going to be that will develop almost similar to Fort Bonifacio. The same way that Eastwood was developed from General Textiles, Rockwell, from the Rockwell plant of Meralco, converted into premium assets, so that the local government and the national government is now benefiting from the local and national taxes. But in this particular case, the proposal of this representation is, why not convert it into a joint venture, so that in perpetuity the national government will continue to benefit from all this land instead of losing them perpetually, because the alternative is we lose them in perpetuity also. Why not consider this, Mr. Chairman? So that in your balance sheet you will have the permanent NTR account, national non-tax revenue, and in this particular case, revenue generated from the assets that are being privatized.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The joint venture option is one of the options that the government is also working on pertaining to the other properties, Mr. Chairman. But I think in the case of FTI, in terms to be able to generate that much revenue immediately within the year, Mr. Chairman, kaya po they decided to proceed with the sale. But definitely,
kahit maliit na po, ilang billion lang naman yan eh. You know, you lose a little, but you gain a lot in the future. Hindi naman siguro ganun katindi yung pangangailangan natin, na kailangan natin ng 5 billion or 6 billion. This is not a make or break situation. But what I'm proposing is that we look at this on a long term, not just long term, but on a perpetual basis, so that the government will have that account that will continue to grow also as the business and the property value grows, Mr. Chairman. Gusto ko lang I think if we can pursue this, we can incorporate this in our report.
Well, they have an economic team, Mr. Your Honor, and I would ask Yusek Gaspi to transmit the message in the appeal of Congressman Golez to the economic team to look into the possibility of, instead of an outright sale, a joint venture.
Mr. Chairman, may I request that we incorporate this idea in our report?
I just want to say, Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chairman.
Sorry.
Thank
you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to ask, because